The last team that I think could potentially be warranting a discussion is the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors. I personally do not have them as contenders, but we'll move to you, Gabe. Do you think, as the Steph Curry fan, that the Golden State Warriors are contenders this season?
I don't.
Wow. I'm surprised.
I don't think they are, which, I hate to say it because Clay has been a hell of a lot better recently. So I'll give him his respect. He has been a hell of a lot better recently. Front court looks kind of mid, but it's like, Kevon Looney, he knows his role. He's played in this offense for so long. He was damn near one of their MVPs in the conference finals last season. So it's like, he's cool. Jordan Poole, a little bit inconsistent. But then it's just like, I don't know how much I trust this team's bench this year compared to last year. It felt like last year they were giving a lot more production out consistently, whereas this season I'm just not really sure. And then just overall, like dealing with like Wiggins not playing, Draymond not playing, Steph's out right now. Like they've been able to keep it afloat while Steph's out, but it's like, this just doesn't look like it's shaping up to be their year, man. I don't know if they're really going to be able to get their feet underneath them enough to really go on some crazy run. However, of all teams that are like not contenders, this team was going to be a crazy difficult out. I think the fact that your reward for being the 2 seed is playing this team is tough. But just given all the adversity against them this season, I just don't think this is the one.
I have them as like dark horse, man, because if they get in the dance, they're gonna be tough to beat. And if, like you mentioned, Gabe, the biggest thing for me is just the health of guys. Like Steph's been hurt 2 different times this year. He had the one major injury last season where he missed a chunk of time. But he's had 2 different injuries this season. That's a little concerning. Wiggins has been in and out of the lineup it seems like every other week. Concerning for sure. Concerning, the bench isn't as good last season, but I don't think the drop-off is that bad, especially with Clay kind of ascending more. And, with a healthy Steph, you would expect Poole to move back to the bench maybe. Or even if you move, they were running a small ball lineup for a little bit. Then Looney's on the bench. They'll still have some type of production coming off the bench. It's just a matter for me getting into the playoffs first off and being healthy once you're there. Because we kind of saw last year, Steph didn't really play much the back half of the season, but he got into the playoffs and it seemed like he didn't miss a beat. So health is the main thing. I have them as a fringe contender because they're the defending champs. They're a dynasty. If they get in the playoffs, they have a chance. I would not be surprised if they made it to the finals, even if they are a 7 seed. But this will be their most difficult road for sure.
I want to give them that benefit of the doubt, but I'm struggling to do it this year. Their road record is a concern. Their defense is a concern. And their lack of depth is a concern. And that's just too many concerns for me right now to put them up on that pedestal of contenders. They're probably the team that is most likely to pull off a surprise of teams that are currently not on my contenders list, because it is the Warriors. They have that pedigree. They know how to get things done in the playoffs. But this is a team where last year, we know what they did in the playoffs. We know Wiggins was great. We know Curry was great. But they were really, really good defensively last year. They were number 1 in the league in defensive rating last year. They're back half this year. That defense just hasn't been there. And I expect it'll be better in the playoffs. But we do have to remember, even still, Gary Payton's back. We don't know how much he's playing. And even though we do think of Otto Porter as a bench guy, Otto Porter was really, really important for them in the playoffs last year. So that value lost hurts. That defensive value hurts. That spacing hurts that you're not getting anymore. And if this team was starting to show a little bit more sign of life on the road, getting Curry back, I could have a little bit more hope. But even with the experience they have, I just have a few too many concerns about this roster this year to buy into them. I'm definitely not out on this group as a whole having future contention plans. Next year's a new season. Who knows what their offseason holds? They have some big decisions to make over the next 12 months, but that could still be in order. But for this season, from what I've seen so far through 61 games for them, I'm going to have to hold out and call them pretenders.
That's definitely fair. I easily see why you guys are on the other side of the fence for sure, because it's like your eye test is really telling you, like, yeah, this team defensively is not as good. The injuries are a concern, and just, overall, just not being as deep as the team as they were last season. Like, all that is right there. I guess I'm just kind of caught in, like, it is the Warriors. Like, if any team's going to do it, it would be them. And this would just be another storybook type of shit for this team. We dealt with injuries. We're only the 7th seed, but play into the finals. Like, we're the Golden State Warriors.
I can see, like, why you would say that. Because at the end of the day, like, it's just like the old days of, like, you can't bet against LeBron, right? Like, LeBron in 2018, like, that roster was terrible. But you're like, but it's LeBron on the Cavs. Like, they're a contender for sure. And, that in that scenario, like, people who said that were proven right. So it's like, yeah, but you can't count out the Warriors. And it's like, man, low-key you can't. But it's like, I don't know. I think this West has some better teams than that East LeBron went through.